Good afternoon. It is July 1st, 2013. This is Jason Horak discussing the ongoing adventures of the Dodge Daytona electric vehicle. In specific, what we're looking at today is the Soliton EV display and data logger program. I had sent an email to Jack Rickard regarding this program. I just kind of wanted to let him know that it was out there, and since he has a lot of Solitons and has played around with them at length, I figured he'd be a good person to let know that it was there, and it might be of use to him, who knows. So anyway, sight unseen, he actually sent me a recommendation and said, you know, it really would be beneficial to have it show the watt hours and the amp hours that are coming out of the battery pack while the program is running. So what I did, I'll go ahead and turn the Soliton on here, is I've added a couple columns to the program, or a couple new values. So the pack watt hours and the pack amp hours has now been included, and we're going to go ahead and do a refresh here. I also updated this a little bit on the Soliton settings side of things, just so that it was a little more clear that it's this section that actually contains information that is going to be changed when you hit the buttons at the top to the other settings, whereas the additional information at the bottom is just that. It's not going to be affected by you pressing the configuration buttons. So anyway, just not too exciting there, but what we're going to do today is just a quick test to see if my numbers are even close to what they should be. I input the formula that Jack had given me for the watt hours and the amp hour calculation, and I want to see how close the amp hours on here comes to what the GLD 404 shows. So that would be on here. So we're showing 199.9 volts. Amp hours have been zeroed out at 0, and so that way we're all in sync. Now, as far as the mileage goes, we're at 168, 147, and I've zeroed out the trip meter as well. So anyway, that's kind of our baseline here. We're going to go ahead and start logging. There we go. And we're going to go out for a little bit of a drive. So I will let y'all know how it turns out when we come back. Hopefully I'll have some numbers in here and we can compare to see what we got. Now, we know going in that the amp hours that the program's going to show are going to be less than the amp hours that the JLD shows, just based on the other parasitic loads, the DC to DC converters, the heater, you know, all that kind of stuff. You know, it's pouring rain out today, so as I'm driving around, I'm going to be using the wipers and the headlights and possibly the heater for the defroster. So all those things will play a part that it will not record on the program. But as long as we have a number that's reasonably close for the lion's share of the load, which of course is the motor, and what the Soliton is sending to the motor, that should help us you know, kind of get just an idea of how many watt hours per mile we're using as far as to push the car along. So, alright, I'll go ahead and take a little test drive, and I'll be right back. Okay then, so we're back from running our errands, and it took about 34 minutes for this particular adventure. According to this, it shows we used 14.82 amp hours and 2,773 watt hours. According to my JLD meter, we used 16.77 amp hours, and we're at 6.7 miles on the trip. So anyway, that is the adventure. Very reasonable numbers, I'm thinking. 14.82 because we had the headlights on, the windshield wipers, both the front and the rear, the defroster fan blower going, and so as I was sitting at every single red light that I hit, I was watching the JLD meter tick up hundredths of a amp hour just from holding the brake in and having the brake lights be on with all that other stuff running. So, you know, it's definitely very close and well within the realm of possibility. So I'm going to call it a successful test and ship it. So look for this program coming to the DaytonaEV.wordpress.com website very shortly. Take care and have a lovely evening.